$13 billion are going to be spent in 2024. Like, so we talk about messages we don't want to see. Like, I don't want to see any of those ads
Yeah.
at all. I don't want to see
But
why. Yeah, like it's just. But you talk about dominating the linear TV airwaves. I mean, we're going to see more political ads than we've ever seen, to influence a very, very small amount of voters to that are ultimately going to decide the next election. So it's going to be crazy. So I think if you're a brand, that spends considerable money on TV, whether that's local TV or national TV, you really need to be thinking about one, like, how do I want my brand to be seen within, like, I mean, back to back political ads. So there's a big thing about how to think about your media strategy when it's going to be bombarded with political messaging. And then if you're going to do that, how do you make sure you like stand out? And then that's where I think creative comes into it, because if I was advising brands that they know that they're going to be in a sea of political messaging, can we be can we use humor to potentially stand out and be more light hearted or funny in terms of all that messaging that's going to be out there. So I mean, like you said, so we're not going to be able to ignore the amount of political from, mainly they do a ton of, you know, TV, a ton of direct mail. And I'm sure you guys are all aware now, they're texting us every day. Like, if I get another text, it's going to drive me crazy.
really thought that was illegal. How I troll them
Well,
all the
it's
time.
illegal except for them, right?
I troll them back all the time. It's comical. But just to reiterate what you're saying and tying together some of the things that we've been saying this whole time, it's not just about, you don't have to be in politics to be affected by politics. When you think about your consumer and you really think about your mom, your dad, your daughter, yourself as a consumer, and you're sitting there and you're getting all these ads, the things that I want to see are getting lost in that mix. So where are you showing up, right? Is the big thing. Drew, what do you want to add to this discussion?
Yeah, I think, I guess the secondary question from Dave's point is, where would you go if you're somebody who spends a lot of money on broadcast TV or local TV or national TV, whatever that looks like, or where the political dollars are being spent, how do you reach your target audience? And one thing that we're big proponents of is looking for connected products, because we're able to kind of specifically target, whereas broadcast or TV might be more of a reach medium where we're buying an entire DMA of some sort, and it's going to get really expensive in 2024. Connected products, we can layer in in market targeting, addressable targeting, and get really specific, so we know that our ad dollars are going towards the people who are most likely to buy our specific products.
Yeah, efficiency, managing your budget, efficiency, placement are all going to be really crucial for 2024 when we think about advertising, especially as it pertains to politics. What kind of advice? I mean, we talked about first party data, so definitely owning first party data, huge. Is there anything else we want to reiterate to our audience thinking about what their moves are for 2024 as we're bringing up the politics discussion? Anything?
I think planning in advance, understanding consumer trends, and honestly voting trends. There's a large understanding that people are going to be voting earlier this year in kind of more write-ins and things of that nature. So understanding that political advertisers are going to be spending their budget earlier in the political cycle. So those types of trends become much more important to understand. So I think traditionally we think political spend is going to be the couple of months leading up to an election, whereas with people voting earlier, those advertisers are trying to hit those people earlier and have a bigger influence for longer. So that means it's going to affect Q1 more than we might have seen historically. But also when we talk about 13 billion, that's a pretty big number regardless, spread over a whole year. So
small,
yeah.
Yeah, I Subi, for me, it's you know, TV is just going to be inundated. So it's how do you think, outside of, just your traditional awareness medium of TV, right? So when you look at like a tactical or, a strategic media plan saying, okay, where am I able to find less clutter on places like Hulu or Amazon Prime from an awareness standpoint, and then from a more driving home, influence towards the bottom of the purchase funnel, like Drew mentioned, leaning in more to addressable, using your first party historical data, your first party website data, and really focusing in on those, really honed in audiences to drive people to purchase. So I think it's rethinking awareness and where those ad dollars might be less political battleground, right? And we know that most of those dollars tend to go to TV first and foremost.
I think it also starts with understanding, just tying together things that you guys have said so far. I think understanding who your new audience, who your new competitors are, and how you can stand out with the right content, with the right message and potential humor, right? Just being human, humanizing your business, and then layering all of this into the right places to be able to stand out is key. So again, back to basics a little bit.
Yeah,
So
but you're going back to what I first said and what Drew also said, like a lot of times we think as our competition of someone that sells similar products and services to what we do, but really the competition is all ads, right? Because it's our attention spans are that much less. There's a lot of noise out there, so we're competing against not only the clutter, but we're competing for attention.
and pulling in something you said earlier, if affordability is just the state of affairs and affordability is an issue, then we're not just competing with our competitors and just the slot. It's also competing for the dollars, which means, hey, you need my thing more than you need that thing. And
Yep.
even if we're not in the same category, we just have to stand out in general.
Right, for sure. Do I choose to
Interesting times
go?
ahead.
Do I, choose to go to dinner, or do I choose to buy beauty products? Right.
Beauty products, for sure.